Hello, you sexy, sexy beasts. It's Biggs. I'm here. You're here, and Greinberg and Schulze are on the way. Here's Greinberg. We're gonna do Scott Fishbowl mock draft, and hopefully I don't freeze everything up today, because that was fun. And anybody that watched last night's episode got to see me in my epic failing. Wasn't exactly a blast. We are waiting for people to trickle into the draft room. We still have 5 spots available, so if you're watching and drafting with us, go ahead and send out some invites. See if we can get this filled up and get going. I'm going to get this. Well, do you want to do the draft board, or do you want me to do the draft board?
Yeah, I'm just loading it up right now, Biggs, and I'm gonna
get going. So while we get ready for that, I'm going to go ahead and call an audible, and we're going to talk about some Scott Fishbowl drafts that have already happened.
Yeah.
So this one, there we go. This is a good one. In a couple, probably starting next week, possibly, we're going to be doing some shows where you guys are going to be able to send us your full draft boards from the Scott Fishbowl, and we will evaluate your team, and that'll be fun, right?
So who's hotter than 111 degrees Fahrenheit out there, ladies and gentlemen? Dave Henderson, one of our viewers, and shout out to Dave for always being a contributor to our show and providing a lot of information on our chats and stuff like that. Drinking beer weather, absolutely 111 degrees. Biggs, where are you sitting at there in Sacramento County?
Sacramento County. I'm in Yolo County. You only live once. And it's cool. I get Yolo County as my county. Yeah, I'm sitting at 109 degrees currently. So beat that if you can. All right. So out of the Ron Burgundy division,
Albert, what's up, man? Welcome back in, buddy.
We've got we're talking FF Canucks roster. Look at that. We got Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Trey McBride. Got the stack to start off. Josh Jacobs, Jared Goff, Alvin Kamara, Zamir White, T. Higgins, Deontay Johnson. That's a smash lineup, if you ask me. A little light on quarterback. You're probably going to want to take a quarterback pretty soon. I would say Bryce Young should be your third.
I'm looking at I'd like to see in that lineup, like maybe a Daniel Jones, Bryce Young, or even like a Russell Wilson would probably service very well in that lineup.
So talk to us about what you did to start. You got Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. That's pretty fucking good value. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce last season were number 1 and 2 basically in ADP in the Scott Fishbowl. And Mahomes passing yards might be nerfed a little bit, but he added Hollywood Brown, and I mean they got the Xavier Worthy's there.
I mean, I like Patrick Mahomes. Even with that, he still has a lot of rushing upside, even though he's not a prolific rusher. It's still remains to be seen. He'll go for those first downs, which is a bonus in here. And I'm just really liking what I was able to get there. I've not seen Patrick Mahomes go later than what I've gotten him at 111. So I was just like ecstatic as a Chiefs fan to be able to get that stack. I was able to get, I probably could have gotten Laporta, but getting that stack was really important to me. And then when Trey McBride came back around, we know that this tight end premium is just important. And that's why Trey McBride, I have Trey McBride and Travis Kelce as 1, 2, and Dalton Kincaid as my number 3, followed by Sam Laporta. I know people that are Sam Laporta fans out there are going to be hard to hearing that, but that's how I have it looking right now. And with Josh Jacobs, I was really torn on this one. I was actually contemplating a third tight end here, and that's a little unconventional when you think about the way things are going. But I like the way I got Jared Goff right after, and then Alvin Kamara, and then Zamir White. I just love that. People were in my chat after I had done that, really liking my team. But one guy in particular was making fun of my fade of wide receivers, saying that this was a team that was built for 10 years ago in fantasy football, judging by the lineup. And I'm just like, did you not see the scoring in the Scott Fishbowl? And yeah, thanks, Charlene. Yeah, I did get Mahomes at 111. That's pretty crazy.
It's kind of funny because there are 3,600 roughly teams in the Scott Fishbowl, and kind of what we're counting on is people not reading the rules and understanding the scoring, and because it's hard for 3,600 people to give a shit as much as I do, and also people who aren't mocking, they're not like really they're just having fun, and I want to win, so. I really like all of this. I'm not as high as on Josh Jacobs as taking him in the 4th round. I might have gone with either another tight end or perhaps an earlier wide receiver. But I do love Patrick Mahomes, and of course, hashtag Nevada boys, Jared Goff, the second best player born in Nevada. We had a comment. Hendu, we need to do a Scott Fishbowl live draft in Davis next year. First of all, Hendu, are you in Northern California, and where? And how did you know I'm in Davis? Maybe Greinberg said something. And also, I did lobby to be a host and have it held in Sacramento this year, but I didn't want to take anything away from San Francisco. I just didn't have enough people send in, hey, I want a live draft in Sacramento. So that's a possibility for next year. And of course, when we get around to it, I will go ahead and distribute the link to send to scottfishbowl.com and say, hey, I want to draft in Sacramento. In the meantime, if you are drafting in the Scott Fishbowl, if you haven't already finished, if you're like me, one of the people who is waiting for your live draft, mine is Saturday in San Francisco. What's up, Charlene? I'll see you there. If you want some of this information, go to fantasylife.com/Scott-Fish-Bowl-Tool, great band. And you can get all of this stuff. They've got everything. They've got little people being thrown against Velcro. Oh wait, no, that's Stefan from Saturday Night Live. No, they've got everything. So many different tools to look and see like what the builds are that are out there and stuff. Let's see this one.
Let's pull up Schulze's draft here.
That's what I'm going for.
Oh yeah, lay it on me. I gotta say that Deontay Johnson just went like 5 picks away from me, and I'm a little sad.
Did you manage to see him on my squad? I don't know if you ended up seeing that as the tail end there. I ended up getting him.
Out of the Brian Fantana division, 60% of the time, Schulze wins every time.
That's right, baby.
We got 2 Anchorman divisions in this podcast. Josh Allen on the fantasy forecast. That was Greinberg's bust. Dalton Kincaid,
I missed that one.
Talked him up. Evan Ingram, love it. Trevor Lawrence, love it. Ramondre Stevenson, love it. Alvin Kamara, loving it. Amari Cooper, love him, not the situation. And Hollywood Brown, same. I guess I like him more than I like, or I like the situation more than I like him. Anyway, yeah, solid starts, boys. I can only hope to achieve the level of sharpness that you guys have.
So check this out. My plan going in was that double quarterback tight end stack with Buffalo Jacksonville. Pulled it off. After I pulled it off, I realized it's the same bye week. So week 12 is going to be real fun for me.
You still have 14 rounds to account for that. Real quickly, I want to jump in here. Hendu, 3 more holes to fill. That's what she said. All right. I just had to get that out of the way. All right. And let's look at a complete draft. We had a guest on last night. Hopefully all of you guys were watching it. And oh crap, I forgot his name. Never mind. I forgot his Twitter handle. All right. Hendu, you're listening. Where are you in Northern California? And let's make this other NorCal draft happen next year. All right. So we're still looking for 2 spots. Get the 3 now. Somebody left. That's we're dying here. Oh, near Shasta Lake. Okay. That's that's up north. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do a Sacramento live draft, because while San Francisco is only an hour and a half away from Sacramento, we got plenty of people in the North State, Mendocino County, Shasta County, Siskiyou County, Lassen County, Redding area, Butte County. We got people in the North State that don't necessarily want to drive all the way down to San Francisco. Although I will tell you, the weather in San Francisco on Saturday is going to be a hell of a lot nicer than it's going to be in Sacramento in mid-July. This is the one is likely going to be the hottest summer on record so far. It's also going to be the coldest summer of the rest of your life. All right. Let's get the I mean three spots to fill. Let me light the bat signal real quick.
Yeah, one more light. Let's light the flame here. I know people are like halfway through their drafts now. There's a couple handfuls, but let's get some last little thrive here for the Scott Fishbowl, because it's such a huge thing here. I enjoy these mock drafts even after your seven or 8 picks in. I'm liking the way the flow of the drafts are going. A little bit of breaks here and there. How's your draft flowing now that you've gotten out of the realm? Do you have a certain owner in your draft, Schulze, that's holding things up, or is it pretty smooth now that that one has gone by?
No, yeah. So we had the 105 timed out, and then I guess they were potentially having issues with the hurricane. So then we paused for a while. We were stuck like a whole day on 105, and then that person was gone and we got someone else. So I don't really know what happened, but yeah, since we've restarted, been smooth sailing. We're at about midway through round 9 right now.
And let that be a lesson for all of you. One of the hard and fast rules of the Scott Fishbowl is that if you time out on the clock in a slow draft, you gone, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
They don't tolerate that. Chalk, Scott, they don't get out.
Yeah, you're done.
I was the 101 and I picked instantly. I wasn't going to be that guy.
Well, I mean, you have a couple years. You almost have like a month to prepare if you get in early enough. If you got the 101 and you've been sitting on it, you kind of know where your head at.
Right, and I was a pretty late ad, and even for me, I had plenty of time to prep.
You weren't a late ad, Schulze. You were an early adopter.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah, you weren't a late ad.
Thanks to some string pullers. All right, we're still waiting on 3 spots. The amount of research that I did today, I really cannot handle auto picks. I need this to work. I'm getting down to crunch time. I have something specific in mind, and it's got to work. It's got to work. And then I'm going to get punched in the mouth, and
then your draft will be all skewed.
Yeah, so. but I have my pivot list. My big board is looking pretty sweet. It's all color coded and shit. I love it.
Yeah, he missed a meeting with me this afternoon because he forgot about it, and I was like, he's like, I'm doing Scott Fishbowl prep, and I was like, the 600 drafts that you've done live this week? Wasn't enough prep for you?
Enough?
No.
I don't know if there's anybody that is been invested more than my man Biggs and Scott Fishbowl, and he's probably one of the biggest ambassadors of the Scott Fishbowl. And when he was one of the first people that got their invite on the first round of invites, I knew,
second round.
No,
hey,
it was
one.
It was the first round of invites, Biggs.
Nope, it was the second. There was almost an entire San Francisco live division filled when I got in.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm likely the literally biggest person, but there's always somebody bigger, faster, stronger. So there is somebody out there who's putting in more work than I am. Maybe not with as much enthusiasm. We are close. We're getting close. We got 2. We're waiting on 2. Send out those invites, people.
Okay, so Biggs, let's make it a 30-second clock, though. Come on.
Got it. Okay.
One thing I wanted to mention here, and
you got
a
golf game to go to?
No, you got a large amount of stuff to process when doing 17 shows a week like we do, Biggs,
Yeah, that's fair. So in doing my big board, I basically went to Fantasy Life and got their ADP file and then split it up by rounds. So I have tiers and rounds. I'm color coding who I can stack with, who I'm going to reach for, like take a round before ADP, late round handcuffs, guys who are on the a wish and a dream list, like Treylon Burks, my do not draft red people, and then this nice gold through line that's my ideal order, and I'm gonna execute it. God damn it!
Yeah, you know what I'm looking forward to, Biggs, is having like I love the Scott Fishbowl stuff. I want to have like a Dynasty show with you again, just to have like an episode. I'm looking forward to that. Maybe next week or the week after.
It has been a hot minute.
It's the summer of fish, though.
I know, it's an incredible thing. And
you said that so deflated.
We'll get to the Dynasty content, Mike. I mean, come on. Or you can come on the show on Wednesday with on Player Profiler News with me and Emerson. Biggs and Beery.
Yeah.
Dynasty Stock Market with Biggs and Beery. We're one person away.
All right. Do I need to go upstairs and get my other phone, Biggs, for you?
Sign in on your other account. I do want to ask you two, please draft as close to your true life boards as possible.
Okay, can you guys, everybody listening and on board, you're gonna have to let Patrick Mahomes slip to 111.
Take him first, Schulze.
That's a good bit right there.
That would be awesome. Okay, so currently, the way that the Fantasy Life ADP starts is Justin Jefferson. Is this right? This can't be right. Nope. I scrolled too far. Josh Allen at 1, CMC at 2, Hurts at 3, Lamar, Mahomes, CD. That's why, Mike, you getting Mahomes at 11 is fantastic. CD Lamb, Anthony Richardson, Tyreek Hill, Bijan, Breece Hall, CJ Stroud, and Jamar Chase. Yeah. Brainburst checking in. Who are some late round guys? Malik Washington has some possible kick return.
Punt
return upside.
Tyrone Tracy.
Greg Dortch.
He's not he's going a little bit earlier though.
Greg Dortch, I like a lot. I like well, I mean, there's some guys that have some upside there for sure.
So only because I'm a Jags fan, but they drafted a kid from Texas who was kind of a backup running back there, Keelan Robinson. They drafted him in the 5th round solely to be a kick returner.
That's some good on and info.
I mean, it's going to be a dude who's going to at least get the chances, and with the scoring, that's the kind. If you know, guy who's here's the other strategy I thought of: kick returners on teams with bad defenses.
More kick returns.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Also,
Yeah.
Mr. Scampers here said Duvernay returned last year, but yeah, with the new rule, we get 2 guys back there. So Jags are going to have Duvernay and Robinson back there. So either one. If you know
there's
going to
be. Here we go. We got Shia LaBeouf in the draft, of course. We got a bunch of multi-timers: Mr. Scampers, Shia LaBeouf, Jack Straw. Dev is here. What's up, Dev? Gator Raiders.
Hold on, let me shout out. I need to give a huge shout out to Dev from the Andropables. The guy's been a lifesaver for the team, and just what he does, the work he does for the team is just incredible. His thumbnails to now he's doing overlays for us, and he's just been a big part of what we do on the Andropables Network. So cheers to Dev. Thanks for jumping in here, buddy. Appreciate the heck out of you, man.
I just got to say, absolutely hilarious. We needed one spot to fill, and while we were shooting the shit, we talked about sniping Mahomes from you. Shia LaBeouf was the last person to join, didn't he? And then sniped him.
Former MVP of the mock drafts, Shia LaBeouf. And holy shit,
Shia LaBeouf is a sharp.
I'm pivoting already. Are you kidding me? CeeDee Lamb at the 4? It's gonna be okay.
Because Anthony Richard, we talked about your game plan. We talked about your pivot here. What? That's not your pivot.
No, but if I want somebody who's going to be in CeeDee Lamb's range, it's got a Tyreek was just sitting there. No, you wanted my pivot to be Anthony Richardson.
No, you talked about it. You actually opened that conversation with Anthony Richardson, Biggs. I don't know if you said, I'm going to go Anthony Richardson and then come back around. And then you're like, and then you talked about, or if CeeDee Lamb is there.
No. So what I said was, and what you heard were different. All you heard was Anthony Richardson. What I was saying was that Anthony Richardson was sitting, his ADP was at my pick. That's
gotcha.
That's what I was saying. So
his
technically,
ADP
Tyreek at ADP 8 was a reach. So I just reached. Let's see if I can salvage this. And yeah, Dave says, I was going to tell you, be prepared. No, I believe me, I'm prepared. It last year I had everything dialed in, and second round it was already blown up. So luckily I wound up with Hawkinson, and that carried me to the playoffs. No, so a couple of the guys that I've been considering as pivots, Amon-Ra St. Brown, I'm thinking Breece Hall, definitely. Anthony Richardson, I would consider. I just need to do a little bit more work and figure out how I can make connections down the line with what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Kelsey, I would not have a problem starting with Kelsey at the 7.
So getting Kelsey and Mahomes in the first 2 picks is a good start then.
Oh, absolutely. He was tight end 1 in this last year in this year's scoring, and that was a down year for him. He still led all tight ends in first downs, which is a premium point this year. Like, I mean, wheels up.
And a real field stretcher.
Yeah. Yeah. Shia LaBeouf, just as sharp. And I've been in some leagues, and It's just like the guy just knows who to pick at all times, and I'm not sure he's a content creator, but we got to get him on the show here, Biggs.
Is that the real Shia LaBeouf?
It's not the real Shia LaBeouf.
Okay.
He's not technically a content creator, although he does have some kind of like Canvas skills or something, because he took his avatar and he's putting in the players that he's been drafting, which is pretty cool. And I'm gonna totally bite his style and do the same damn thing. All right. Thank you, Schulze.
You're welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just see if I can avoid getting punched in the mouth again. I can bob and weave.
Shout out to Gator, new undroppable member, doing the Bucks Uncovered. So pumped to have him aboard.
Is that Gator Raiders?
Yeah,
Gator Raiders is Gator J. See, I have two guys that are in the mock networks who their names start with Gator, so I don't know which is Gator J and which isn't.
Well, if that's Gator J, or if it isn't, I'm sorry.
It may not be.
If it is Gator J, man, fuck yeah, buddy.
All right, we are. What's up, Adam? Adam Zaff checking in.
Yeah, buddy.
What's up, fellas? Saloon. All right, here we go.
Oh, son of a bitch.
We knew that was coming for you there, Schulze. You're not going to get your normal stack on the corner, knowing you're with a couple of sharps here on our end. Now, what possessed you, Biggs, to put the old Jalen Hurts picture there? Is it just because he was kind of lying sideways? It looked good. It's pretty provocative, if you ask me. I'm just wondering if like you wanted people to draft him early. Is that just like a head game kind of thing that you did there?
So, as you and all of our frequent viewers know, the other night we had a duo episode with Jack Lucene and Hoove. And so what I did was, when I was creating the overlay and the thumbnail, I went to fantasylife.com/Scott-Fish-Bowl-tool. That's it. And I looked at Hoove's draft board, and his first four players taken were Burrow, Etienne, Hurts, and Pacheco. So that was in honor of Hoove. And so when I went to go get the image of Jalen Hurts, that was the most fantastic one. I guess it was like an Esquire spread that he did, or something like that.
Yeah,
I thought it was.
I was waiting. I was waiting for him to say it was because it was just preloaded into Canva.
No, I had to load it. I had to make the outline, do the background removal, and everything. Mr. Scampers is he's dropping bombs over there with his 4 running back build. Look at that.
I don't think that's a bad start either. I mean, just based off of the scoring and stuff like that, you're really putting us at a handcuff if you don't have a running back.
Now we're cooking with Lazari Hardwood Charcoal. Not a sponsor, but Lazari, reach out.
So we got Adam, a question here. Yeah. Let's get Adam's question up here, because this is what we're here for, folks. We're here to be giving you some advice on your Scott Fishbowl drafts, and some of us have been through this already. I have the 104 in my Scott Fishbowl 14 draft, and I'm battling between CMC and Mahomes. If all 3 running backs go first, thoughts? Biggs, do you want to take care of this one, and then I'll kind of follow up your answer there and see if I can give a devil's advocate or if we're on the same page?
I will do that, but first I do want to shout out your first person read of that. It felt like you were talking about yourself. So thanks for speaking for Adam Zaff. You made that very personal. So I'm taking CMC, and we just did a show, the 3 of us, over on Fantasy Football Advice Network. Go subscribe. Fantasy Forecast, but it's redraft based, and we were doing busts, and because I was a little bit drunk when they were like, hey, can you fill out your players in the show sheet, please? I was like, fuck it. CMC is a bust. So for content, I just made some shit up. The running back episode is probably my worst episode in the history of Fantasy Forecast. But I am all steamed up on CMC and the Scott Fishbowl. It's the first downs. It's the total scoring. It's that offense that's directed towards him and making what are you doing? Directed towards making him like the highlight reel. Like people love Ayuk, people love Kittle, people love Debo, but the fact of the matter is that is CMC's offense. Everybody else is just watching. So I really like him.
Don't forget the carry boost, man.
Yeah.
Right, so the round I'm doing,
I would honestly be very shocked if CMC slid to the 104. To be frank with you, Adam, I saw in my draft CMC, Breece Hall, and Bijan all go in the first 7 picks. So I wouldn't be surprised. Like at the 104. In reality, you're probably looking at a case between Mahomes and I don't mind that CeeDee Lamb draw, and but I probably go with Lamar Jackson in that situation. That would be my pick. I think he probably gets to you there, and the upside with the rushing, I think he's got elite status. He's got an outside shot of finishing as the quarterback 1. That would be my pick at the 104 if he's there. If CMC is off the board.
So Mike, you just took Ferguson, and I have him targeted in that round, in the 5th round, and I've got Ramondre targeted in the 6th. They are available according to Scott Fishbowl ADP on Fantasy Life, but you guys are taking them early because they're 2 guys that we talk about a lot on the show. Yeah. So we're a little bit sharp, and I'm kind of counting on that not happening in my league. So one of the things I'm trying to do is follow Joe Kuvatakis's Omni Stack best ball theory, which is posted over on the Undroppables. So go check that out.
Shout out, Joe.
Article.
Great article, Joe.
And in that, he's got multiple stacks that correlate at the end of the season. So in the Scott Fishbowl, we turned to best ball during the playoff rounds. One of the combinations that he has is Buccaneers as a stack to go along with the Cowboys and other teams. So one of my pivot points, I just figured out now, I should have gone with Mike Evans, and then that way, as it came back around, I could have gone with Baker Mayfield. But instead, I took a shot, and I'm pretty sure I had Kamara nailed there. No, it was just Ramondre. Okay, that I had to account for.
I'm just seeing a lot of early running back runs, and I just have that advice for those that are drafting later. They're doing these live drafts. I just see these runs happening, and if you could be on the top of it and getting the right play at that position, that would be the advice I have for y'all. Because it is slim pickings when you get down to it, and I would much prefer taking my first wide receiver in the 6th or 7th round, and they have just as much upside, especially in the scoring. I have no problems like taking my first wide receiver at like 6, 7, even round 8. Unless you can get an elite guy that has slipped, unless their ADP slides so far that it's so irresistible to get them. That's how I see it, unless you're in the 1st round. What do you think about that, Biggs?
Yeah, and I mean, you may not be able to tell from my build, but there is a point at which I'm going to be hammering running backs, and it's not going to be now. So what I'm looking at, I just took Zamir White a round earlier than I had him pegged, but something tells me that was a sound pivot, and then Angie went ahead and grabbed Bowers, who was my next pivot point. Now I have to do it again, and I don't mind taking a shot on this guy.
That's huge. I would have been completely content, going into my draft as, wide receiver 1 being George Pickens. I even slid further than him, knowing that, I picked Zamir White over George Pickens because of how much I think it's valuable to have those running backs with the upside for the carry bonuses, the first down bonuses. It just makes a big difference. And when you only need to start one wide receiver, I just think that it's a disadvantage to have a ton of them. So I'm really excited seeing builds that have like 5-6 wide receivers off the hop, meaning that I got a lot more options there for me in the positions that are going to score a lot of points, like tight end, premium stuff that if you can get one or two of those elusive top 10 guys, let's go.
So right now, what it's looking like, I have 3 picks that are adjustments. The next guy in my plan is his ADP is exactly my pick at the 8-7, and I just have to get around this turn, and I should be in pretty safe space. And I did not make it because Mr. Scampers just took him, and that's Christian Kirk that I wanted to go ahead and add to my Ingram and Trevor Lawrence stack. So thanks for that, Mr. Scampers. And by that, I mean, thanks for nothing.
I had the shot at that triple stack in real life and I passed it.
I actually had the chance at the triple stack for the Chiefs, and I just didn't know which way to go. So I could have had them Mahomes, Kelsey, and either Hollywood or Rashee Rice stack, but I felt like I needed a floor there, and I needed some safe options. And I took Deontay Johnson. I took him about a round earlier than I needed to, and I foregone that stack because I just don't know. When you see Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, and Marquise Brown sitting all at the same ADP, essentially, it scares the shit out of me. And I have no idea who the hell to pick there. And it's been like that for years. Try and figure out the Chiefs wide receiver room. I'm a Chiefs fan and I have no idea. I mean, I haven't had a clue in years. And, maybe it like I ask Biggs about it. Like it's so hard to figure out. And, and people have been saying it. So I'm out on them. And I'm going to let somebody else take that gamble, and I'm going to go with somebody that I know is going to be the number 1 target in Carolina, and Deontay Johnson. And I'm going to take the guaranteed 9 targets a game and see what happens with Dave Canales in that offense. And I'm salivating over that situation.
So one of the things that I'm banking on going into this live draft is that it's not going to play out with all of these early reaches that are happening in the mocks. But I do want to just clarify one thing. This is a Dynasty show. It's the Dynasty Pulse. And one of the things that we talk about is that stacks are for best ball and not Dynasty. And one of the things that we're trying to do, stacking is one thing. In best ball, it doesn't really matter what your stack looks like. In the Scott Fishbowl, it's okay to stack, but what you really want to do is make sure that your stacks don't have the same bye weeks, because a stack can help you through a bye week just because you're getting those correlated points. The other thing, and let's see, so now that Deontay Johnson is gone, everything I'm doing is a round earlier than I had planned on.
And that is my advice to you folks, is if you're going to pick a guy, you're literally probably going to have to pick him a round before what you're seeing as ADP happening, and screw the sleeper settings. You got to get yourself a good current ADP app. If you don't have that, we can hook you up with a resource. If you're looking for it, be sure to DM us with a a copy of you subscribing to both the FF Plus network and the Undroppables, and we'll hook you up with a really good site to get some good ADP action there, folks. So give us a like and subscribe if you don't already.
I like the fact that I just took Mims before Shaheed, just because that's how my queue has gone. So at this point, where am I at?
Well, tell us about Marvin Mims and their bigs, because he's going to be coming back around to me, and he's going to probably be a reach at least a round for me to do that. Is that something that you would probably advise doing based off of his potential unknown in that Denver Broncos offense? We know that Sean Payton went out last year with the only draft capital he had and moved up to get this guy. And now he could be returning kicks and, being, potentially the number 2 option in that offense. So what's happening there? Could he be the guy in this? Could he be the Puka Nacua of this year in the Scott Fishbowl?
You just answered everything. No. So Marvin Mims was he was returning kicks last year, and there is a lot of talk about the kick returners and how they're going to affect the Scott Fishbowl scoring. The thing that you have to be really careful with, though, is that player going to get snap run too? So you have a Xavier Gibson, he's been the Jets. He's going to probably be the Jets kick returner, but is he going to get on the field enough to justify his stats eclipsing those of the other wide receivers who aren't necessarily returning kicks? Marvin Mims seems to be a very, very good candidate for getting snap share and return points. Rashid Shaheed likely is going to do both as well, although it's still a question mark. So we will see. And just looking at the way that this mock is going, the fact that I had Deontay Johnson pegged earlier, but he was taken from me, means that I didn't need to take Bryce Young then, although I still do love this 3 quarterback suite that I have with Trev, Dak, and Bryce Young. But I digress. This is not going how I wanted it to, which is the theme of the Scott Fishbowl drafts, right?
Yeah. I mean, it totally catches you off guard, and I was swallowing my pride as my first round was out playing. And then I just was like, what is going on here, folks? My plan going into this, it was Breece Hall, Bijan Robinson for sure at the 111. There was no way around that. I knew they were going to be there for me. What happens? They went in the top 7 picks. Totally pivot. I'm like, my other option, maybe Anthony Richardson slides to me. No, not going to happen. So what happens? Patrick Mahomes. And I'm like, what the hell? Where did this come from? Now we're thinking, you just have to pivot and then go with what's going on and just, go with the flow. And as long as you're prepared and you know where these guys are going and where you need to reach, all good.
Yeah, because Josh, I was even a round ahead in my queue, a round ahead of where I was already taking people a round ahead, and you just took Josh Downs.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're taking Marvin Mims, so that is starting another type of run. So when you think about this, folks, there's some underlining kind of runs that happen within this, whether it's a quarterback run, a tight end run. But what about those kind of rover kick return type of runs now that you're going to see with guys that are steaming up, that have that maybe potential? Now you're going to see a guy like Josh Downs at his ADP on Sleeper, even in his ADP, in the most current ADPs, is going to start steaming up. So how do you deal with that? Well, you just got to take them a bit earlier and start the runs, because it's going to make people desperate, and it's going to turn them off of their game. When you start this, if you can be the person starting the runs and the last person to be on top of it, then you're ahead of the game. And that's what I always like to do in whatever kind of draft I'm in. I want to be the first one on the runs, and kind of like the Dumb and Dumber scenario, be the first one on the runs, and then you're never going to
having the runs.
I was just about to say, you got to stop with the being on the runs, man. This is
yeah. In real life, in the Scott Fishbowl ADP, Josh Downs is going in round 13. So even me having him pegged in the 11th was 2 rounds early, and then Greinberg just went and did what he did.
Well, I'm looking at all the wide receivers with the potential opportunity to be a game changer in that offenses, and I just see. I like Josh Downs originally, and then if he could return the odd kick here and there, wheels up. I really like him as a safety blanket for Anthony Richardson in 2024. I've been high on Josh Downs for a really long time. I like his talent. He's a great separator, and I just think that he could really create some space there for him. So wheels up.
Yeah, I think we all have a little bit of Down syndrome. Really? That's just crickets. Yes, it was in poor taste.
Radio
Don't
silence.
cancel me. Go ahead.
No, I was a little more harsh in our chat, so I
see now. I was about to take Chase Brown, and then I remembered Zach Moss. And I went with Curtis Samuel because of opportunity being king. I love Chase Brown, but I don't know, man. He is what do you do, Mike? What are you even doing? What is wrong with you?
What do you mean?
You're just grabbing dudes without any regard for the world around you. It's funny.
Without any regard to your game plan. I'm like the guy on the golf course on Happy Gilmore. You will not make this putt, you jackass. And I'm sitting over Biggs' shoulder, and I'm just like, what is happening?
Let's see. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wide receivers right now.
Did you chalk it up like that, or
that wasn't the game plan? Let's see. I would have had five, so only 2 more than yeah, Dev. He's just like a bull wrecking a china shop right now.
No regard.
no regard to real life. What are we looking at?
I love you, Dev, man. All about love, buddy.
I mean, I don't blame you 100% just because, like, looking at the sleeper draft list.
Yeah.
It's just like 20 straight picks of horse shit.
It is. And it's really, really slim pickings right now. So, I might as well just reach 3 rounds for a guy that people are going to snipe me around ahead of. Like, I'd rather have my guy now than, like, I'll skim the board later on and find those guys later. And I know there's a couple gems out there, and you got to get them. And I'm okay of reaching 5-6 rounds ahead of the guy if he's going to be a game changer. And Tyrone Chasey could be that game changer, especially if he's going to be returning kicks. They're talking about him, being, the primary down back as the 3 down back there. Like, he could have a substantial role there. And it's just worth the gamble, especially in a format, like a big tournament format where you got to be the best. Might as well be, trying to take those stabs.
It's funny that like I'm going through my list and I'm like, all right, who should I be looking for here? All right, where is he at? Oh, Schulze has him. All right, where should I be look? Oh, Schulze has him. Oh, Greinberg has him. Oh, Greinberg has him. The rest of the draft board is just going along, and then my guys, my buddies, my brothers, my partners in crime are just wrecking my shit.
Good thing we're all in different divisions.
But it's good for you though, because it gives you that opportunity to really focus and see where people are going to snipe you, because you're going to have some sharps at your live draft. The live drafts are filled with, those are one of the harder ones to kind of get through here, is the live drafts, because you're on the spot, you have a slower clock, and you're in that atmosphere where you could be enticed to be drinking. You could be enticed to have some things that are a little bit different. And especially in the first rounds, it's not easy, but at least you have the opportunity now to see where these ADPs have fallen, and you can kind of see where things are going. So you have a little bit more intel on the situation. But those live drafts are a lot tougher to do well, because they're highly promoted. They're got the sharps in them, and then you have that other aspect of the social aspect, where people are there may be one of your competitors that their sole purpose is to get you off the game in that situation, and but there's others that may be the opposite of that, where just trying to have a good time. But you got to be treading carefully if you want to take this to the next level.
I think my so strategy number one is to get my stacks, but I think I'm bumping that down to strategy 2, and strategy 1 is getting everybody drunk before the draft starts.
Yeah, and but that could cause a pitfall of people really causing your strategy to go debunked, because they're doing things that are very, very weird, and then
even more unpredictable.
Yeah.
I do want to shout out Jack Straw, friend of the program, New York live drafter, taking Damian Pierce and his the possibility that he takes over for old man Joe Mixon, and he's getting kick returns. We've been talking about it on just about every episode of the show, and it shows that Jack Straw is paying attention. Wandale's another one that keeps coming up.
I really like Wandale.
Like year over year, you got two guys who were target leaders on their teams last year in Demario Douglas and Wandale Robinson, and they just bookended that round 15. Not too shabby.
For Wandale's sake, it's like, I don't know, I love his skill set of like, he can get himself open, creating space, and now you've got, the legitimate X threat and Malik Neighbors for him to build off of.
Yeah, see, this is a spot I like. Gabe Davis going off the board, Tyler Conklin going off the board, Demarcus Robinson going off the board, Jalen Polk, and then like just boom, I just got another starting tight end. Of course, Conklin is a starting tight end too. I think what I need to do is try and find a different place to fill the mock room for tomorrow's show. Like have nobody in there that's been in mocks with me yet, because tomorrow night is my final tune-up, and anybody who knows Tank Polvote, Polvok, Tank, he's going to be on the show with me. Nate is going to be on the show with me.
Nate.
Hopefully, Schulze will check in too. But Mike made plans.
Yeah, we're doing a smoke-a-thon.
See, I do this thing where I
don't make something else.
Yeah, meat.
Not polls. I do this thing where I don't make plans with other people or do things because I'm committed to the show.
Yeah, we committed to a show, but not like 7 shows in 1 week, 3 a day.
Taking Jalen McMillan in the 16th round, Mike? Like, what is even happening?
Mike, it's the summer of fish.
Good Lord. All right,
piss you
next
off,
year I'm
Biggs?
not going to say any players' names. I'm just going to every show that we do next year before the Fishbowl, I'm going to do without saying player names across all of our platforms. No shows are. I'm going to name players.
Oh, I love it. This is what we call the snipe-a-thon, folks.
No, I haven't been sniped once.
Yeah, no, because I'm not right in front of you, but
yeah, stay
get
over
the
there.
idea.
Dude, I just got hit with. I was gonna take Jelani Woods.
I had Roshan sitting there in my queue for probably 4 rounds, and nobody was taking him.
Yeah, he's a guy that you can get pretty late, and I think he's got a lot of sleeper appeal. He's got a lot of upside in that offense. If people are thinking that the Bears are going to really turn it around with Caleb Williams, with all the weapons they've put around him, you got to think they're going to score some points, and they're going to be in the red zone quite a bit. And I really like the upside of Roshan Johnson. DeAndre Swift hasn't, done anything, in my opinion, other than be a complimentary guy. He's not built to be, a full-on workhorse back. And I don't think Roshan Johnson is either. Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about that, Schulze.
We have a Treylon Burks sighting here.
I couldn't let you have him again.
Yeah, I've been hoarding him. For those who haven't been paying attention recently, it's been discussed on the show many times that I'm a lover of Treylon Burks, and he's been getting talk about. I mean, he's basically the wide receiver 4 at this point, but he does some things. He's dynamic with the ball in his hands, and the Titans need to find a way to get the ball in his hands. And it looks at this point like that way is going to be having him play special teams. And so, for the brand, I love it, Schulze.
Got you.
And like you said, teams are going to be having 2 returners back. So if I can,
there's so many tight ends still left, and it's just like,
who are these so many tight ends you keep talking
That's
about?
what I was saying. What list are you looking at?
Andrew Cooper's list.
Jonnu Smith is there.
Huh?
Now, I was watching the Bootleg Football Raiders preview. Everybody who isn't familiar with Brett Coleman, go check that out. He's an absolute stud, and he made a really good point about the Raiders tight end situation with Michael Mayer and Brock Bowers, who I served pizza to, by the way. Might not have known that, but
kind of a big deal.
They are both called tight end, but they play 2 different positions. And if Luke Getsy is going to be employing the 12 personnel that he wants to, and that's something that Andrew Cooper has also talked about, the Bears not being able to run 12 personnel, but Getsy wanting to, you're going to have Mayer in line. You're going to have Bowers like playing slot. And what's going to wind up happening is that on early downs, Mayer's going to be in there and he's going to be an outlet. And then on third downs, you're going to have Bowers, who's going to be out in space and catching first down. So it's not out of the question in the Scott Fishbowl to actually roster both of them.
Yeah. I made a grave error here. And
hang on. I want to go back to one thing that I was talking about, having 2 players doing handling kick return duties, and Trey Tucker and Dylan Lobby are both being talked about as kick returners for the Raiders.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I didn't draft a second quarterback yet, and we're in round 20 here, and that was a minor oversight on my behalf. So
still a little bit.
That's as close as my regular draft as possible.
Hey, you can still draft Drew Lock. He'll probably get to play eventually.
I'm going to draft the starting quarterback for the
Jarrett Stidham
for the Las Vegas Raiders. He's still on the board.
No, he's not.
I think so.
Yeah, Gardner Minshew's right here.
Thank fuck Aiden O'Connell went before Gardner Minshew. That's the first mock that we've done that's happened, you guys.
I was poking the bear here, and that was great. It was a good segue to that DM you got there. That was pretty good. You want to tell our viewers about that one there you got today there, Biggs?
Yeah, I was talking about, I think it was I was in a mock draft and somebody made a comment about Minshew, and I was like, Aiden O'Connell's the starter in Las Vegas. And then this one guy commented, Aiden O'Connell trash. I'm like, okay. And then I went back, and the guy does nothing but talk shit in mock draft chat rooms. So
shout out to that guy.
Shout out to the mock draft trash shocker.
Usually that's Biggs.
What? All right, compare players. I'm using the Fantasy Life tool to compare players. And we are going Aiden and Gardner. Let's see if the real life Scott Fishbowl drafters are in line. Nope. Gardner Minshew, ADP 160, and O'Connell, ADP 193.
Everybody just loves the Minshew mania, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I am a Scott Fishbowl 4 quarterback advocate.
Okay. And how come?
Hey, luckily Greinberg's got 3 rounds left.
So exactly. There's an adage in best ball: don't take more than 3 quarterbacks. A lot of people don't even like taking 3 quarterbacks in best ball, but when we're talking about the Fishbowl, you just have to be able to insulate yourself from damage. And if you have 2 quarterbacks and maybe some bye weeks that line up and stuff like that, you're going to want to have all the options that you can and save your fab for other things. So if you can roster 4 cromulent quarterbacks, then you can use your fab on breakout running backs. You can use your fab on the kick returners when we know more about them, that kind of thing.
I just drafted Big Michael Penix, and he's my quarterback too.
You don't need to be talking about big Penixes.
Penix he's big, and I think he's going to be big for that team eventually. And he's going to have a big Penix in my lineup here. So as my quarterback too.
Speaking of big Penixes, I just found a new tool over at fantasylife.com/Scott-Fish-Bowl-tool. It's the probability plots, and I don't know what it does.
Probably creates probability, and like about your team. Yeah. No. There was one last year. After the Scott Fishbowl was done, it ranked. I don't know if it was Fantasy Life, but there was an app out there that would rank your team, and then it was very close to where my team actually ended up finishing off at the end of the year. It's crazy.
You were probably the only one.
Well, just like Nirvana said, am I the only one?
Nirvana.
Man, you can still take Gronk.
That means I could probably take Brady still, round out my quarterback room.
I'm pretty sure Brady is available. I mean, okay.
Yeah, he's probably got a better shot at the starting gig in Las Vegas than Garner Minshew.
No,
I'm just joking.
All right, for the brand, here we go.
Yeah, let's do it. Henry Ruggs.
Don't
Love
drink
that
and
for
drive,
you.
please. Okay, I'm still trying to figure out what the hell this pick probability thing does. Okay, Travis Etienne, 97% probability.
I just got the starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos in the last round of the draft.
Jarrett Stidham.
And can you freaking believe that?
Unreal, man.
No, I can't believe that.
That is value. That is value, folks. If I ever saw that. That's how you round off a draft, folks, is, with Jarrett Stidham.
You guys, we have one mock left before my live draft.
And
then the summer fish is over.
Yeah, man. It's been a crazy.
Not over.
What do you mean?
The summer of fish won't be over. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Shout out John Belushi. No, we still have like lineup draft board evaluations to do when everybody starts sending them in and stuff. It's the summer of Fishbowl. It's the whole summer.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, definitely we'll give green light, amber light, red light to your squads as they come in, and we will do that because my last year's squad got decimated in one of those by a veteran in the analyst industry, and my team crushed his. So you know what? Sometimes,
yeah, it's just for content. It's not like we know what the fuck we're talking about.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's go through and do some draft board evaluations in this one, and we'll each give an MVP, and it can't be one of ours. I got mine off the bat already.
All right,
Nope, never mind.
Ooh, I like that one. Lost me there.
Yeah, everybody that drafts Deshaun Watson, just so you know, if you're hoping for me to give you the MVP, I go down and I'm like, love it, love it, love it, love it, Deshaun Watson.
Next.
Also, all you people who, if you finished, if you haven't, make sure that you go find us on Twitter at FFConnect99 or at BigBonedFFB or at SCHU1TZY, and send us your finished draft board, and then watch the show, and we will break yours down. Okay. Yeah, it's so funny how people just they get going, they start building up momentum, and then boom, I see like something that it just hits me wrong.
Interesting here.
Congratulations, Angie Hatfield, my Scott Fishbowl San Francisco live draft compatriot. You get my MVP. Started off on the turn with Justin Jefferson and Amon-Ra St. Brown, followed by Mark Andrews with the third round reversal. When it came all the way back, she grabbed Jalen Waddle, Jared Goff to correlate with Amon-Ra, Brock Bowers, DJ Moore, Calvin Ridley. I'm not big on that, and I'm not big on DeAndre Swift, but Kirk Cousins, JJ McCarthy should be an end game guy. Like when you're in the playoffs, he should be. He's got the Justin Jefferson correlation, and he should be cooking with gas. Zeke Elliott, we'll see if he's got one more year in him. Brandon Cooks, getting a lot of love in the fantasy community right now is like a sneaky sleeper play. Demario Pop Douglas, I love him. Target leader for the Patriots last year. Ricky Pearsall, I'd rather have Jacob Cowing, but still, Pearsall is a possibility out there. Khalil Herbert, don't like it. Xavier Gibson, great with the receiving upside. Michael Mayer, she's got both of the Raiders tight ends. AJ Dillon, Tank Bigsby to finish it out. And Jake Elliott, sneaky play with the final pick in the draft. If the Philadelphia Eagles, if they can't score touchdowns, Jake Elliott is going to smash. And if they can score touchdowns, Jake Elliott is going to smash. They're high volume, lots of opportunity for Jake Elliott. So congratulations, Angie. You are my MVP.
I'm gonna say that I like Schulze's team the best.
Can't
out of everybody's.
Can't be one of ours. We're not eligible. You know the rules.
I'm gonna have to go with.
I made them up and I say them every time.
I'm gonna have to go with Shia LaBeouf, and I'm sorry, guy's a machine here. I see a lot of value here. Some great running backs value in my opinion there with Kamara and Mostert. You know, like he punted that position a little bit, but I like the quarterback. I like the running back. I like the tight ends, and then some pretty solid wide receivers to start off at with the potential there. So I like Shila's. Schulze, what do you got?
Multi-time winner.
I was going to say Shia LaBeouf as well because...
that's a third night in a row that we've had double winners, like a winner of a double, like doubling up.
But yeah, you talk about kind of punting running back here, but still walking away with three guys who should get carries. I think that's huge. Like I want to walk out with two minimum, hopefully three guys that I feel really good about getting solid work with that carry bonus and first downs. Rest of the way, it's just a solid team.
I'll tell you what, Deshaun Watson, Zach Moss, Keon Coleman, Bo Nix, Khalil Shakir, Tyler Lockett. There is so much fade in that list of players. I can't go along with you guys, but I do appreciate that the beauty of human nature is variation, and people can have differing opinions and still love each other, and that's great for me.
I love it too.
Yeah. So I am going to call it a night. Let's wrap it up. We have our MVPs. Angie is one, and multi-time winner Shia LaBeouf, not the real Shia LaBeouf. He's over at The Equinox FF on Twitter. Most people do the same handle for Twitter, MFL, Sleeper. He just, Shia LaBeouf doesn't follow the rules. Anyway, Saturday morning, tomorrow night, we're doing one more mock draft. I'm going to be drafting with Tank Pole Vote. Hopefully Schulze will sit in with me. After that, I'm getting up early on Saturday morning. I'm making some specially roasted Papua New Guinea coffee beans that I roasted this morning. I'm going to take those over to Bo McBrayer's house. I'm going to get Bo McBrayer and Mace Riney all hopped up on coffee. We're going to get drunk on biscuits and gravy and then drive down to the Tempest Club in San Francisco to do our San Francisco live draft. And I'm going to bring cameras with me. So watch this space. Make sure that you hit the notification button so that you'll know when I'm on the air and streaming from any one of those locations, either in the car, which would be fun, at Bo's house, which is going to be pretty cool, and at Tempest. It's going to be a wild day, and you guys can be there with me.
And remember to like and to subscribe to these videos on the Andropolis Network on Fantasy Football Plus Network. We appreciate everybody's subscriptions and everybody, endorsing our show because it's growing, and we appreciate all the audience. So thanks for tuning in. Anything else you got to add to that, Biggs or Schulze?
Well, I was just going to say, we hope you win.
We hope you win.
But not the fishbowl.
Peace out.